please spare yourself the misery. Like, really spare yourself the misery, because this ain't for the weak. It ain't. What's up, YouTube? It's Shanawa St. Tolian, the Biz Informant, and today I'm here to talk to you about grad school, what it is, what it ain't, what it should be. So let's get into it. So first, I want to preface this by saying a couple things. One, I'm in my classroom, so not your typical background or whatever, you know, teacherpreneur, so I got to do things where I can, excuse the scenery. Two, grad school is not going to make or break your career. It's not. And three, this is my second time in a graduate program. I got my MPA at Florida State, which is Master's in Public Administration, and I'm getting my MBA at Florida International University. And I'm just now starting to figure out my life. Kind of, I hope. Now that that's out the way, let's get into it. Going to graduate school is a big decision, a really big decision. And there's a lot of things you got to keep in mind, but I'm not going to talk about all that. I'm going to talk about the top three things that I think you should keep in mind before deciding to go to graduate school. So the first thing is, why? Why are you going to grad school? For real. Like, seriously, why are you going? Because I don't know if you heard, it's a lot of work. It's a lot. And there's going to be times where you don't feel like doing anything. You probably already felt like that in undergrad, but in graduate school, yeah. You want to ask yourself, is this for you? Is this for someone else? Why are you really doing this? Because at the end of the day, if you don't know why you're doing it, you're going to be lost the entire time. The curriculum might already confuse you, but if you're lost internally about your purpose, about why you're doing something, it's only going to make the goal a lot harder to accomplish. What do you want to even do with your life? Do you know what you want to do with your life? Or do you think you know what you want to do with your life? Because, listen, it's okay. If you really don't know what you want to do and you think you know what you want to do, that's most of us. Don't think you're alone. Don't think you're so abnormal for that, because the gag is most of us really out here don't know what the hell we're doing. And that's the truth. Another thing to ask yourself while you're trying to figure out why you're going to grad school is, do you really know yourself? Like, really know yourself? Because if you don't, if you can't answer any of those previous questions with certainty, as in, why are you doing this, who you're doing it for, what are you doing it for, and who you even are as a person, maybe you should take a step back, pause, reevaluate, and truly decide if you want to jump into a master's program or a PhD program or anything at the graduate level. Because if you go into it without truly knowing who you are and what your purpose is, you might just end up wasting a whole lot of money. I personally think waiting a year or two out of undergrad is probably the best thing to do. Did I do that? No, which is why I'm telling y'all to wait. I didn't wait. I jumped straight from my bachelor's degree to a graduate program. And to be honest, I'm not going to say I regret it, because I don't have regrets in life, but I do wish I had looked at things from a different perspective, because I thought I knew what I wanted to do and I didn't. I'm just now starting to figure it out. As I said, and this is my second go around in graduate school, so I could have saved myself a ton of stress, a ton of money, a ton of time, and just did other things with my time, or made better use of it, put my energy towards something else. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who already know what they want to do. And if you're one of those people, like, you know you want to go into medical school, you know you want to go into law school, you know you want to go into the engineering field, whatever, then if that's you and you know for sure, you know for certain that's what you want to do, go for it, go ahead. But if you're one of those people like me that was kind of on the fence, like, I think this is what I want to do, so I'm going to go for it, no. Please spare yourself the misery. Like, really spare yourself the misery, because this ain't for the weak. It ain't. The second thing I want to talk about is financial obligation. School is expensive, if you ain't heard already. It's expensive. Like, really expensive. Thankfully, like, I was fortunate enough to get pretty much a full ride to undergrad. I'm a Gates Millennium Scholar, so I had everything covered, my dorm, my tuition. I had extra cash coming through my pocket in undergrad, et cetera, et cetera. And even though the Gates Millennium program does pay for people to go into graduate school or obtain a graduate degree, it is for specific fields. And even though my undergrad degree is in STEM, I was a math major, my graduate degree was not in a STEM field or any of the 7 fields that they listed. So I wasn't able to use that scholarship towards my graduate school tuition. So unfortunately, I had to go into a little bit of debt, you know, comes with life, not for everybody, but for some people. So I had to take on that financial burden. So you want to ask yourself, how much is this going to cost you? Like, really crunch those numbers. How much is it going to cost you? Do you have scholarship money coming in? Does that school offer financial aid? And by financial aid, I mean something other than loans, because they're going to give you the loans. Like, duh, they want to make their money, so they're going to give you the loans. But do they offer grants? Do they offer scholarships? Do they offer grad assistantships that could help you pay for the tuition? Do they offer you any type of, like, even a little bit of money, you know? Thankfully for my MPA, I was able to receive a small scholarship that covered, it wasn't small actually, I'd say it was a decent amount that covered at least like 60 to 70% of my tuition. So I didn't come out of pocket a whole lot for my MPA. However, for this MBA, it's another story for another time. I'm gonna do a whole different video. This one is gonna cost me a pretty penny. So again, think about how much you're gonna spend. Are you gonna get a job while you're in graduate school? Can you get a job? Because there are a lot of programs that want you to be in school full-time, so you can't even get a job. Are you gonna work full-time and go to school part-time? And if so, what's the cost of living? Like, how does that compare to the expenses that you are going to have? Are you living at home? Are you living with a roommate? Are you living by yourself? Like, do you have a car note? These are all questions that you want to ask yourself, like, what really is the financial situation? Now, I'm not going to say sit there and stress all day about money, because at the end of the day, I truly believe that if something is meant for you, like, this is God's vision for your life, he's going to provide, point blank, period. If you got to take out some debt, listen, they're going to get their money when they get their money back. And I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it at all, because for me, listen, the Lord sent his one and only son to die on the cross for me. Okay, for us. That was a sacrifice. So I already, my debt is paid. It's been paid. I don't know about y'all, but my debt has been paid. It's paid off. I don't got no debt. So all these loans that's coming out, Joe Biden and them loans, that's Biden loans. That's not my loans. Sally Mae and them, well, thankfully I don't have a Sally Mae loan, but whoever it is that's your loan provider, or whatever, the federal government, private loan, a bank, that's their loan. That ain't your loan, okay? The Lord has paid everything off for us already. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm not going to tell you sit there, crunch the numbers all day. It's going to drive you crazy. Debt is real annoying, real stressful, real aggy, real pressure, real headache. It's real everything. It's real. But like I said, he already paid all that debt for us. So don't worry too much about it. You do want to put things into perspective for yourself so that you know, okay, what is my debt to income ratio, et cetera, et cetera. Am I going to be able to pay this back once I graduate? Is this going to increase my salary so that I am able to pay it back? Or is this going to just push me further and further into, you know, a pit that I might not be able to get out of? Something that you might want to ask yourself. The third thing that you want to think about before deciding to go to graduate school is, how will this elevate my life? Like, honestly, sit there and think about it. If you already have a job, or if you're coming straight out of undergrad, you want to think, like, again, going back to the conversation about finances, is this going to increase my salary or my potential salary if you haven't gotten into the workforce yet? Is this going to truly make me happy? What kind of school am I even going to? What type of network do they have? Am I going to have networking opportunities? Who are the professors in this program? What are their bios? Like, what school did they come from? Because you want to make sure they got a great education so that you know they're going to teach you properly, right? So who are your professors? What are their bios? What's their resume? If you go on usually any university website, you can see a professor's resume or their CV, as they call it, curriculum vitae. So I would definitely look into that. Before jumping into my Master's of Public Administration and my MBA, I decided to go on the school's website and look at these professors so I could see who is going to really be teaching me this content, who's going to be giving me this curriculum, who am I going to be sitting in front of for the next year or two, however long your program is, and look into their bios. What do they do with their life? Where did they go to school? What courses have they taught? How long have they been teaching for? Do they have any awards, publications, things like that, if that's what you're into? It really also depends on what you care about in the program. Do you care about the school's reputation? What kind of reputation does that university have? Is it ranked? Do they, make a lot of publications, especially if you're going into academia, like you want to do research, whether it's research in a STEM field, in business, in social science, there's research in every single field. So what are those professors doing? What have they done? Have they gone to any conferences, published any major papers? Those are all things that you want to think about. Another thing is, will this school provide you the opportunity to travel? Like, do they pay for conferences? Do they have an international program for the graduate students specifically, where you can travel to another country and maybe experience things in that field in another country? Something to think about, because if you're going to go into debt, like I said, if you're going to, not even just debt with money, your time is valuable too. So if you're going to spend your time in this program, how is it going to give back to you? It's not only about what you're going to put in, but how are they going to make you a better person, a better academic, a better scholar, a better person in the work field, all that good stuff. So again, those are 3 things that I think you should think about. Number 1, why am I doing this? For real. Number 2, how much is this going to cost me? And do I really want to take on this financial burden? Number 3, is this going to elevate my life or nah? So that's all, folks. Grad school is interesting. That's the word I got right now. Again, it's a big responsibility and a big decision that you have to make. Don't do it blindly. But at the end of the day, sometimes even if you do get into graduate school, I mean, like maybe you're watching this video and you are in grad school and you're kind of not sure what you're doing, where you're at, just take a pause, pray about it, or do what you got to do. If you're a spiritual person, I recommend praying. Not everyone's spiritual, so I get that, but do some recentering and figure out what it is you want. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to pause. It's okay to stop completely and entirely if that's what you really want to do. I mean, you don't have to keep going. At the end of the day, you're paying for school, so if you want to stop, just stop. Just make sure you're doing it for you. It's what you want. It's going to elevate you. It's going to elevate your life. It's what God has planned for you, and that you're enjoying yourself in the meantime, because grad school is hard, but it's not supposed to be completely and utterly miserable. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. Life is not supposed to be like that, period. Life is going to be hard, but life is not supposed to drag you through the mud every day, like every single day. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share it with a person that you know is applying to grad school. Share it with a person that you think is, that is thinking about going to grad school. Share with your mama, your auntie, your cousin, and them. Tell them to follow me. You can follow me too at Shanava St. Tolian on Instagram. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm a very friendly person, so connect with me. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed, and y'all have a great rest of your week. Bye.